Yeah. Hello, Roberto. Hello. Where are you?
Marie, sorry, I'm outside just a few seconds because I received a task in my inbox to review what the plumber did, whether I'm happy with the repair. Obviously, I'm not. So let me see if the housekeeper is available. So I come to the time and attendance application where I can see everything about the presence of the people, whether they're in sick leave, they're on holiday, they're on lunch break, and teleworking, and so on. So I look for Christopher. He's here. No, he's not in office. Fine, no problem. So I create a new defect report, and he will see it whenever he's online again. So what I have to do here is to type in the couple of information, like what is the problem about, the location. Even the GPS location can be saved, so to know exactly where it is, the problem. So I make a photo, maybe more a detailed picture, and off you go. So we are ready with the report. So I really reported in a couple of seconds without too much trouble and time waste from my side. So now if I know there are some optional informations that I can still select, like for example, which department is going to take care about, who is maybe the person, so we said Christopher, but otherwise I can continue with my activities. The colleague, as soon as he's online, he will get on his mobile phone a notification, and there by clicking, he can see immediately what it's all about, what is the problem that I encounter reported. He can see that on the phone, he can see that on a web browser, he can see that also in the desktop. On the desktop application, it's also interesting because also from the management of the building side, they can see all the activity. They see that this person got a new task. What is the priority? What is the urgency there? And they can better organize his activity. Okay, but anyway, I'm here, so I can continue with you on stage, Marie.
Great, welcome. Was already missing you. Did you fix our park outside?
Well, at least I reported the problem.
You reported the problem. Excellent.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Good. Thanks also from my side to join remotely this meeting. The point is really, as you've seen in the video, is really what we expect from a business application on mobile. So we basically want to collaborate. We want to be able to, to interact with the colleagues, with our business, with reach, content from my cases that I normally reach only from my desktop application. I want to be notified if there is something urgent. I don't want to stay all the time on the phone seeing if there are some urgent emails while I'm busy with something else. If there is something very important, if there is a task with high priority, I expect the person reporting it to give the high priority so that I get immediately a notification on my phone. If I'm busy, it's switched off, so I will not be bothered anyway, right? So this is really about what we see as the expectation from the business application on mobile. Reach your business, what you have normally on your desktop, also when you are within the building, moving around in the garden, as you saw, or maybe also traveling somewhere. So what we tried in this session is more to give you some inspiration. So we tried to collect some of very different applications that we implemented in these years at the customers that we also internally use and so on. So just to give you some ideas, because it's not. You will see, it's not, the classical business application that you might expect. We try to pick up applications that are somehow helping you in your daily business. So not only to sell, but also to perform at best your activity during the normal working day. So the first one, well, we have seen already a little bit before, is everything that is about time management, attendance management, meetings management, and etc. So we have in place today our desktop application. We use it since several years. Many of our customers, they have their own time management platform. But we want to interact. So they want to be able eventually to interact with our solution. Or eventually on our side, we want to interact also with the chip-in, chip-out devices like the Interflex and other devices. That's what we implemented here already and applied already in several installations and live since several years. What we did a couple of years ago is that we also simply applied this information and these actions also on the mobile side. So you see here the first menu here, so with my daily activity, where I can see whether I chip in or chip out, whether I'm working from home, then I did the check-in manually and not with a card, whether I'm on holiday, and so on. Then the calendar. The calendar might be my calendar, where I can see my activities or during the month, or I might see the calendar of my colleagues, the people that I'm allowed to see their information. Again, GPDR and so on, so maybe my team members. I might be able to see more than just a colleague to know simply if he's in or is out. Then we have the inbox. We have seen in several of the sessions the task inbox, which is the central place where I can see everything coming, for me. Whether it's, like here for the time management, so people asking, for a holiday or signing off for something else, or is the assignment of a case or whatever else, is one inbox with all, the incoming communications that I get from any of the various applications we have seen. Last but not least is obviously also an overview of my colleagues. So I'm searching for somebody. You saw before our housekeeper. I was trying to reach him. He was temporarily off, maybe at lunch break. So I don't want to call him if he's in a break. I can see immediately there are a couple of people today not in office. I can see that one person is in office, one in a break, and another one is also on in teleworking, working from home. This light green is the work at home, right? So I can see all this information immediately on my phone. So I know exactly how to handle that and so on. If I want to organize a meeting, I want to have the system telling me if I can set up a meeting on this day on these people. We all know that when I set up a meeting, I have to send an event to a couple of colleagues, and then this guy say, no, I'm on holiday in this day, no, at the time, whatever, another meetings, and so on. I want the system to tell me immediately, propose immediately when is the best time range for a meeting for the people that I select. This is really what I expect from an application and also, obviously, on the mobile side. A couple of clicks, and I set up the meeting. A couple of clicks, and I reported the defect. We just saw it outside our building before. So another classical application, something that unfortunately today we use a bit less nowadays, but it will come back, is the travel management, the expenses request, refund, and so on. So whether I have to buy something, I don't know, the web camera for my teleworking place, and I need somebody before I buy it actually to sign off that I can go and buy it, so that I will be refunded. The same is for the travel management, where it's more, articulated the whole application. I did not go in detail in this case, but it is about organizing the trip, the timing, the traveling organization, the hotel booking, and so on. And on the other side, when I'm traveling, I don't want to start to collect all the bills and then later, have all these box full of paper and so on to sort it out. What I want to be able is to immediately, I step out the taxi, make a picture of the bill, is immediately Papyrus Capture, extracting the data, immediately bring it to the right travel. I might, for legal reasons, still keep the paper, but it's already all sorted out and archived and so on. So I have already everything stored, and the paper might be that I just had to bring it to my administration, depends on the country and so on, depends on the company. I still might have to bring the paper. But it's much easier, much simpler to organize. Think about all the notification. I get a reminder, look, you did this trip to our lab in Italy, and you didn't bring any invoice yet, right? We normally tend to forget that. I expect the application, and in this case also on the mobile, to see immediately this information. The calendar, where I can see how we're spreading my time interval within this business trip, and eventually also some statistics, which is important in the desktop, or also in this case on the iPad. I want to see, how I'm spreading the cost of the trip. If I have to invoice then later a customer, I want to, to have an overview of all this information and so on. This is for me as traveler, or maybe me as a manager that had to sign off for this trip, right? And I can at any time, on the fly, immediately see all this information and eventually contacting the colleague. Another very classical, and me and Marie have been also in a couple of customers who are very excited to start to use this application, is the event management. You know it. So if you check on in our mobile app today, you can see our open house, the various events that are coming up in the next months, virtual and hopefully also soon also physical events, right? But the point is that this is a standard application that you can use it immediately, not only for a marketing event, but you might also want to use it for internal workshop, for example. We organize with this app also the workshop, when we are making some training for customers, for our internal people, and so on. Everything with a mobile app. Right? I'm talking to my colleague, say, we should do a meeting, a workshop next week for 3 days in that rooms and so on. I want to do everything directly on the mobile app and not only with a web interface or with a desktop. So I want to define the agenda there. I want even to see the performers. Remember what we said before? So when I set a person to perform an event, a session, a workshop, whatever, I want to see immediately the people that are available there. I don't want to guess or ask somewhere else if this person is or not on holiday that week, right? So again, integration is extremely important within the Papyrus platform or with the other system that you use in your organization, right? Last but not least, an event can be also, very articulated. Think about our open house. Normally we have the catering, we have the demo areas, we have several parallel, events within one event, right? It's a microcosmos, let's say, an event. The same is here applied for a competition, a sports competition, where now the performers are not presenters, but they are pilots. They are teams. There are teams that have problems and they have to report that they have a problem, they have a delay, so they ask, the event manager whether the starting of the next race can be delayed for 15 minutes or whatever else. And if this guy is signing off, it has to inform everybody, right? And I expect everybody on the phone to get the notification, say, hey, by the way, the catering has to be delayed of 15 minutes or whatever else, right? So this is really what we expect from the mobile experience in the out of business application. I will not go inside too much of the CRM system. You might have your CRM. You might use our CRM system in integration and interaction maybe with your own one, like Salesforce, whatever else you might use there. But the point is, again, on the mobile, I want to be able to reach all the information, all the data of the customer, my appointment, and so on, immediately on the mobile without, having, again, to query somewhere, to go to a PC and so on, just to simply find out what was the address of the customer they're meeting in 15 minutes, right? And they have to go there. So here we apply all the technology again of Papyrus, like for example the capture. Here I'm adding a new customer, meeting it in a conference, for example. I just scan this business card, I extract the information, and I can add the information that are not available in the business card, and off you go. I have immediately this person recorded, available in my CRM. My colleague might allow it already to see it, and I can do whatever I want, then file whatever you want not, but whatever you might plan to do with a customer, like organizing meetings and so on. Anyway, this will be, each of these things might be, extended as much as you want. So I would be very happy, to have personal talks also, maybe after this presentation and so on with you, and talking about every of this single application and what we have there available out of the box, and which are also the integration possibility. Another case, again for the customer, for example, is I want to have, for example, an insurance agent from the mobile phone being able to immediately propose the documents, the contracts that somebody made available, for example, in correspondence framework, in the correspondence platform we saw before. So immediately I can come here and just to get ready, this is the clerk, right? The clerk view, and on the right side might be the customer, might be the insurance agent. that is interacting with my system. So you will see how the two people will see the information in a different way. So here you can see now that I'm starting the app on your right side, and I see I want to have the create the contract, and I immediately start with a credit card. I'm asked for a few steps, few questions, and these questions are not coming from the app, but somebody defined, the logic, the business logic in adaptive case management, like we saw already a couple of times yesterday and today. And the business logic is the one that's driving the mobile app. Say, look, this guy might have a passport. Okay, good. Then let's take the photo of the passport. Let's extract the data. Again, the person can add the further information, the customer or the agent, right, in front of the customer. And filling all the data that are not available in the document ID that he gave. So I continue with the next steps, right? And the next step you will see is that some personalized text. Remember, we are talking also about correspondence, so you want to be able to, to type in the text that you want to have extra in the presentation letter, in the contract, some exception that you want to allow to have, and so on. Then I'm adding a couple of further paragraph of this document, some extra maybe coverage and so on. And also here I'm putting the credit card limit, for example. And I might have, again, you see in the middle, you are an expert already of ACM, meanwhile, I put there a business logic saying if it's over 10,000, the coverage, I want to have, a digital signature, right? So I'm calling the Papyrus sign here, so I'm doing a legally recognized signature directly on my mobile phone. What I'm storing back is all the information that are legally required in order to have this document acceptable as a digital valid document, right? Good, so we are very close to be done, right? I can review the document if I need to, right? I can see also some extra labels that are legally required to confirm that this document is really legally certified to be valid, right? And then, off you go. So we are done with our document, with our contract. Now the case will go, for example, to be signed off by somebody. The customer is not left with nothing in his hand. He's immediately getting in his inbox an email with the contract he just signed. So very often when you send a contract, you have nothing afterwards. You will get something later, right? And this is really the case where you get immediately a document, and as we heard already about blockchain and so on, is immediately stored in the web archive and immediately notarized into the blockchain. So the customer immediately gets this email, you just saw it, and he can prove anytime to anybody that this is really the document that you receive from this company, right? And nobody else can change it. So it's a guarantee only also to the customer. Here we see the clerk code, so they can review all the data that are landing in this case. So everything is stored, nothing is stored on the phone. We will see that. And and off you go. So you can see the timeline and all the information that you know already from the adaptive case management platform we have seen the other day, right? So, and again, here there will be the further task and so on that might follow up. We continue and think about the sign up. We've been, especially lately, we get a lot of requests about registration, sign up applications. The possibility to quickly create, a small application where you're asking data to the customer, the personal data and so on, and maybe optionally also to create a user if this person have to be authenticated later. So he can create within the mobile app also his own user and password and stored immediately in the system. So which are these type of sign-up application? You will have definitely much more idea than me. But for example, what we see today used a lot is the registration for an event. You all use it to join this event today. It is a sign up for a product. We just saw it before with a credit card. This is also registration. This is also a sign up to that specific product. You remember we created the data and so on. Or even in the HR world, to apply for a job, a person that want to apply for a job or want to that saw something, an ad and so on, he doesn't want to send an email with a CV. He can do it, but he can also come to the app and filling his registration data and then getting to the step finally to select which is the job opportunity he's interested about. Here I'm not showing again the complete HR platform because otherwise it would be an own session just about that. But here you can see that again also HR, there are processes defined. Right? It can be processes trained, by the HR people doing action. But here what I'm doing is that I'm already testing the person, whether he's understanding English, whether he's how he's reacting, to certain video, talking about, in this case, dress code and so on, to test his personality, to get some information about the personality. And then finally, I will get also some questions, some technical questions, some questions related to the job opportunities applying to. So maybe some C++ question if you want to be a software developer, or some marketing question how to approach the customer and so on if he's applying for sales. These type of questions are defined by the business user, by, for example, the manager that is saying to the HR, I need to have a new C++ developer. He can also very quickly on the mobile app create those type of questions. And everything, the whole onboarding subject will go in the same direction. If I'm coming here to the onboarding, it's a completely different case. But again, I think very worth to discuss. This is the form that a customer of ours in the US is using, right? For the people, entering in the building. They have to fill this form and so on to be sure, that he knows exactly what to do in case of whatever. There is a fire, there is an emergency, whatever else. And what we are proposing is to use the questionnaire, what we just saw before for the job applicant, so that the person arriving maybe with his mobile phone, he can immediately, fill the form on the mobile, so he does not have, to touch paper, as a subject in this moment, take a pen, whatever else. You don't need too many people, reviewing all this form if they are answered correct or not. It can be everything done automatically, and the people at the reception will simply get, the OK sign. This person can get the card and get in, right? Just another example where mobile and business application can really help a lot your business. I'm not talking about, the customer, but you and your own people within your organization. Paper is still very important. So when you define this document, right, these forms, you want to have immediately the digital version and correspondence, immediately create also the PDF version of it. So you can still print it if this person does not have a mobile device or whatever else. So there is still also business continuity, also in that sense. You can still work on paper, and meanwhile, who wants can use also the mobile device. Talking mobile, all these mobile apps. In reality, Papyrus have one mobile app, only one, right? And this mobile app presents many different applications. This mobile app, it's a standard software. That means it follow all the, the standards of a professional software, from the development and the designing up to, the testing, the quality assurance, and so on. What you get is the final product, like any of the Papyrus products you get today, right? With the same maintenance concept and so on. So we take it serious. It's not one of, this mobile app can come and go once in a while in the market. We are in the business of mobile before the Apple Store, interesting enough, right? So our first mobile app was on Windows CE, on Windows Mobile, right? So quite more than 10 years ago, right? Still, your people, your colleagues and so on will not go on the App Store and search for the Papyrus app. So what we offer is also the branding of the app. So the standard, the app is exactly the same, always the same. We just, let's say, allow to change a couple of things, like, the style, the icon, the app name, and so on, before putting to the App Store, right? So just the shell part is changed so that they have already your corporate image also on the mobile app. How does it work? We don't want to be too technical, right? But what we see here is that the whole concept is based on the backend infrastructure, so the mobile as a service means really that on one side, the mobile app is receiving everything that the backend decide to deliver to them, right? So if you think about the Papyrus platform, so the blue part is the environment of Papyrus, right? So you have the standard framework, you have your processes, the one that you defined, and then you have the adapter to interact with different applications that you use, different systems. And so what happens is that as soon as the mobile app starts, is asking for the login. The user and password might be in sync with your LDAP Active Directory environment if you need, right? And based on these rights, we will deliver the apps that are allowed for this person with this role, right? And some of these apps might be, getting the data from your core business application. So the data from the core business are retrieved from the various adapter, web services, and so on, from into Papyrus, and Papyrus then will deliver to the mobile user, right? Exactly like you do today. Many of you do today already on the desktop and on HTML. You can also do exactly the same thing, reaching exactly the same application finally also on the mobile app, right? Security, I don't think is anymore such a big subject, but it's worth always to mention that we apply the top of the SSL encryption. There is a full auditing also in terms of who did what with this data. You know very well from Papyrus in general, so of course also on the mobile side, because the mobile app accesses the data that is in Papyrus, or that Papyrus interact with the other application. User authentication, everything about the roles and so on, who can do what when and so on, is applying the standards that are very well known in Papyrus. There's no data stored on the mobile app. There are some exceptions that you can define. The security administrator can say, for this application, this data for this task can be, temporarily saved in a secure sandbox of the mobile app. It's all automatic. So on the back end, you define this one, as soon as the task is assigned to this person, also, this specific document description or this patient data, if you're talking about the medical world and so on, can be also temporarily stored on the mobile. As soon as this person is not anymore assigned to the task, off you go, all the data are gone. So two things very quickly. If you really want to start from mobile, I will be happy to discuss more in detail with you guys in the various web opportunity we have also today. But you have to define in your business what you want to show, which are the data that you want to see also on mobile, which are the processes, which are the wizard, remember the steps, right, for the process flow, which content you want to make available. And the other thing is simply how you want to show them. Do I want to show this information in a form, in a table, in a graphical way, within a chart and so on? You remember all what we saw there. So basically all what I had to do is to define these two things. And really, meanwhile, you've seen also the Christoph presentation, you can create mobile applications within minutes, right? So normally we say within days. Right? But you define the forms and so on, the data that you want, maybe retrieving from a database, off you go, and it goes on the mobile too, right? So mobile is definitely nowadays super important, obviously, for guarantee business continuity, also in situation where, offices and buildings are closed, right? But also even before and also very soon and so on, you can still have a major advantage of the mobile access for your business application. Maria, I see you coming.
Yes, I am coming because I did get a few questions for you because you told us such an amazing story here. Now, somebody wants to know what are the best practices of implementing a mobile app?
Well, there are many, but one is definitely very interesting. We just did with an insurance in Switzerland. They came with very clear goals, what they want to reach with a mobile, which are the type of document they want, which are the forms, which is the the marketing message they want to see, and so on. And within 2 weeks, we create a complete thing. So that we had, the registration part we mentioned, the creation of the process for signing up as a new customer, creating the inbox, creating the possibility for the customer to report problem and so on. Everything it was nearly 2 weeks in total. Right? But they had very clear understanding what they want to reach. Right? So,
well. Someone here got caught on your words, actually. You say mobile can be deployed in days. Actually, about the cloud is the question. In the private cloud, on-premise, or providing also GDPR?
Right. Yeah.
Everything else?
So the cloud or on-premises, this is something that is, especially when you start a project, maybe the IT infrastructure is not yet ready and so on. You say all the servers are busy, I don't have anything. Very often, for mobile, we say I want to create a new little node of Papyrus in the cloud, and there I start to make my little project on mobile. Right? That's where we see a lot that cloud is used. We also offer that to support the customers, right? So if a customer does not want to start with this infrastructure and so on, we are very happy. The Swiss insurance, we just said before, did it exactly like that, right? So we prepared everything here, so they came here a couple of days, and the rest they were remote and so on. The complete IT infrastructure here, we just agreed about some interfaces, and off you go.
And they needed a mobile developer in-house?
No. They did not need any mobile developer.
Good.
That's one of the point. You can if you want, right? But it's not needed at all, right? So you just need to have, as I said, the information that you want to show, and the clear understanding what you want to reach, what you want to see. But again, the business application is something maybe you have already. So the step to go mobile is much more simpler than very often the people believe.
Right. Yeah. And a last question that came in was about how easy is it to integrate with another app?
Right. So it's on both sides. So our app can call any other app, and any other app can call also our app, of course. This type of integration is there. We also offer the possibility, if you have already a business app on the market or for your people and so on, we can integrate in an SDK our app in the one that you already use today, right? So that's really something. It's an exercise we did already a couple of times, so we know very well how to interact and so on. Yeah.
Excellent. That was it. Thank you so much.
Okay, thanks to you.
It was really exciting. Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye.